Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube. Here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. Having to hold this camera and hopefully walk without falling down the steps here. I'm in the beautiful mountains of Tennessee, as you can see behind me, and having my coffee with you. So I want to talk about a couple things. First of all, I've released quite a few videos that have been talking about our ego. And why is this so important? We're in such a deep fog when it comes to the ego that we don't even realize that it's ruling us. And why is this important? Well, here I'll give you another little shot of this beautiful landscape behind me. Why is this so important? Why do I keep bringing Hacker T-Dog out just to have a little fun, who's my ego, and who I've made friends with? Why? Because when you find yourself in conflict, it is absolutely the ego in charge. So let's name what the ego is so that you understand how we can tackle it. The ego is when you are not connected to that high frequency power of which there's no worries and there's no thinking. Uh-oh. I've got a leaf blower coming through here. Hopefully you can hear me. So I'm shooting a video. So,
I'll do something else.
Thank you. So, this is my friend Craig over here, who's going to give me a minute to talk to you. So, what happens is that when we function on that lower frequency, we're only concerned about ourselves. We're only concerned about getting our own opinion, getting our own way, getting the stuff, getting the money, getting all the things that really don't matter in the bigger picture. And I know it doesn't seem like that. I know most of you will come back and get very upset with me and say, you know, of course money matters, and all these other arguments that are very valid. Yes, of course money matters. In this real world we want health and wealth and all of these things that, you know, all of us deserve. But you can have all of that. And this is why I always stress focusing on the higher frequency, because when you release that battle that the ego's constantly having, you actually connect to that higher frequency, and then all those things flow to you. When you're down on this egotistical level that's always battling for stuff, the message is always, I need it, I'm not happy, lack, and then there's arguments. I mean, a lot of you have put comments on here, and I can sense the frustration and anger in your comments because you still want the stuff and you want to know how to get it. I get it. So the toughest thing is to release that and realize that that's your ego talking, and then when you stop desperately scrambling for all of these things, that you can actually start to find peace, allow all the probabilities, and they're all there for you. Every opportunity, every probability exists for you, no matter what. But when you're in here worrying, I need this, why am I not getting it, you know, what ritual can I do to get it, and you release everything, you actually pull the veil off. I've done a video on what is the veil. You pull the veil off, and all of a sudden, you know what? You can see everything. Everything, right? Everything becomes beautiful and clear. And it's like, wow, I didn't even know this was out here. And those are all your probabilities, right? You look around and say, holy cow, you know, what do I need to do to connect to that? And this is why people ask me about, you know, letting go. Letting go is one of the most powerful things you can do, and say that you do have all the answers. The ego wants them clear cut. I need to know how to do this. I need to know how to get it, and I need to know when. Or I need to say exactly how it is, and I need to know exactly when I'm going to get it. And when you can release that, that's the letting go. It will happen. So it's not like you're not in control. You're more in control when you release it and stop trying to dictate it. Dictating is saying that things have to happen a certain way. If you're doing that, your ego is in control. What if you, and I've seen you guys write these messages that are awesome, people saying, I just released it, and Landria, money showed up. Or, oh my gosh, I stopped worrying, which put you on a high frequency. You went, yay, I'm happy, even if the circumstances is still the same, circumstances are still the same. Well, see, that's the whole point. The circumstances are not changing, your mindset is. So if you shift over to the higher frequency, you know what? I'm in acceptance. Whatever I'm doing isn't working. Because if it was working, I'd have the abundance, I would have the peace. And so you just relinquish it, your control, and then it shows up. Because now you're on a higher frequency and the universe connects to you. You're not blocking it anymore. And starts to deliver. The things are there waiting and you're going, no, I'm not. And you're always saying no when you're worried. No, I don't want this. And the universe is saying, okay, you don't want it. And it includes everything in that. So this is the toughest thing. If you find yourself worrying, it's the ego wanting things to be different. And I know this is the toughest thing. I've been in your shoes, wanting things to be different. And saying, why aren't they different? What am I doing or thinking right now that has put me in this situation or is keeping me in this situation? And that's not seeing the end to this, right? A lot of times we just don't see the end of the rainbow. It is relinquishing control, which you really aren't. You're actually pushing control to your higher self. You are that energy. And your higher self now starts making decisions because you've stopped chatting. Hacker T-Dog isn't talking anymore. Now your higher self that that has the access to all of the abundance and all the things you want, starts to make decisions. And you get the signs, and then you get an idea and opportunities. You can't get any of that if you're sitting there worrying and scrambling and meditating on the lottery. That is not the kingdom of heaven. I'll just put it that way. The kingdom of heaven doesn't worry about winning the lottery. So I always ask myself, what does the enlightened Landria do? What would she do at this moment? And then I get a very strong sense of peace come over me, and I realize she would know everything's exactly the way it should be, and it's all going to work out, and she needs to have total faith and trust. And when I do that, sure enough, I release everything. Everything falls away. And then what happens? Wonderful things start to come to me. And Hacker T takes a back seat, and as cute as he is, stops talking. So this is why the ego, which is truly just you on a lower frequency, is all it is. It's another voice that talks. I know Eckhart Tolle calls it the little me. In other words, that's the one that doesn't have the power, talking all the time. So if your ego, if you find yourself arguing a point, if you find yourself requiring that the world thinks and believes the way you do, criticizing others, judging, unhappy with what you see outside here, that is going to be your world. Be careful with that. I don't want to live in a world where I'm constantly in conflict with myself, because the other is you. It's just another expression. When you can accept that, all power comes to you. I hope this makes sense, because we're always operating with the ego, and it's not working in our favor. And the more we focus on it, the more powerful it becomes, and the more you block all the things that you truly want. It's tough to let go. We're told that we have to keep doing certain things or taking action or whatever. I do. I'm a constant action taker. But my whole focus is to do it from a higher place that guides me instead of me doing all the work. I don't know about you. It's a lot easier to just get in a beautiful carriage and be taken around the countryside than it is to drive a Mack truck around and, have to pay attention to switching gears and driving this thing. That's what you're doing right now. You're having to control everything. And that carriage is already up in the mountains in the open air with the horses and everything. And that Mack truck is just trying to get up that hill, and it's a big struggle, and it's never going to win. It will never win. It's a lower frequency. It can't. There is no darkness in light. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.